Hey, this is David Gunn with Gunn Construction in Houston, Texas. As part two of our series about going through residential drawings, I wanted to touch on the site plan. The site plan is a overall view of the site, as it sounds like. And I want to look at a couple of different examples and show you what some of these look like. Now, keep in mind, no two architects are going to draw this the same. You know, different architects have their different style and way of showing their drawings that they are typically consistent with, but they're probably not the same as other architects. They may be similar, but not exactly the same. So let me first start off by also saying what I'm looking at here is through a program called Bluebeam. It's a program that is available for purchase. You can look it up. We use it a lot to be able to view documents, to mark them up, to measure things on the computer. It's a handy tool to have. Using that, let me show you a couple of different site plans from different architects. So here is a site plan. This is a remodel project where we're adding a garage to an existing house. So the document shows the entire site plan, the whole property of the lot, and it shows in this case the existing house, an existing driveway, and then clouded back here in the back, the architect has the new garage building shown. Site plan pages sometimes show us, I'm going to zoom this in a little bit, show us square foot calculations. So for example, here is the square footage calculations for this new garage. This is actually required where we're building for permit. They require knowing that as part of the permit process. So typically on a site plan like this, you have to look at the scale. So this site plan shows that the scale is 1/8 of an inch equals 1 foot. So for every 1/8 of an inch, that's 1 foot in real life. So if you're measuring it with a scale, you want to make sure you're looking at it with an 1/8 inch scale. Or in this case, where we're looking at it on a computer, we have to have our scale set to 1/8 of an inch if we're going to try to measure something. Typically, a site plan like this is going to show the property lines. So that is this dashed line that is running all 4 sides of this property. That's showing the property line. That's probably taken off of a survey that a surveyor did of the property. Typically, that's where the architect starts with their basic drawing, is with a survey. For example, this survey, if I look up here across the front, shows that that front line is 125 feet across. So that lot is 125 by 175 on this side. And it gives some coordinates, you know, it's survey talk. But it also shows the property corners, which is important to us when we start laying out a building. That's these big circles. This, on each corner, this corner, that corner has a circle, that corner has a circle, and that corner has a circle. If we zoom in a little bit here, let's just see what else this thing shows us. This shows us concrete driveway. It shows us setback lines. That's very important so that we know where to set the building so that it's not over any setback lines or easement lines. In this case, we're showing a new porch, new covered breezeway that goes back to an open, and I'm sorry, a new garage with an open cabana. It's a pretty basic site plan that gives us basic layouts of where to start construction on that project. Let's look at another example. Here is a drawing for a new house. This is the first page of the set of drawings. And in this case, the architect uses the site plan for some other things. He's got a section of notes. He calls it general notes here that say, for example, do not scale, and that dimensions are from the face of stud unless otherwise noted. Verify utility location, so forth. This is a good spot for some of those general notes that don't really have a specific spot somewhere in the plan. The architect can note those here. This plan shows, similar to our first plan, different square footages Over here on this side of the house, it shows how many square foot the house is. Living space, air conditioned space, non-air conditioned space. It spells all that out for us. And then on this page, which is handy, the architect gives us an index of drawings so that when we're looking for drawings in the set, we can refer here and find out what page they're on. So it makes it easier to find them in the set of drawings. If we look over here at the plan itself, this drawing, different from the first drawing, actually also shows some topography. You see some marks here. For example, that says 89, that says 88, that says 87. Those are contour lines to show that the ground is sloping down. You are 89 feet above sea level right here, stepping down to 88, stepping down to 87. So it shows us how the ground is sloped around the property. This is also showing us where trees are, these little indications. A dot with this space around it is his indication for a tree. That may mean a tree we need to protect. It may mean that it's a new tree. We may have to dig into that to find out exactly what that is, but that's their indication. This drawing shows where these are cars, for example. Bird's eye view looking down, those are the cars in a little parking area and walkways that lead up to the house itself. There are a few lines on here that give us some layout lines and some things to start with of how to build the building. Let's go on to look at another page and see how another architect does it. Here's a drawing, and their first set of drawings is not the site plan. This architect starts out a set of drawings with all those notes and similar things that we talked about on some of those other drawings. They start with a map, kind of showing generally where the house is. And then they give you some general symbols that you're going to find in their set of drawings so that you know how to find things. They give an index, which is handy, again, to be able to find drawings in the set. Here is handy. This architect gives us a list of code and ordinances that they used when they designed this house. So if there ever comes up a question about what is the code, we can refer to this and find out what they used to design the drawings. Again, they have some general notes here that fit to the drawings. And as with some of the other ones, they have a legal description as well as the square footages of the house and of the work that's involved, as well as a general scope of work describing generally what we're going to be doing. Let's look at another set of drawings. Here is a set for a remodel of a house. So this is an existing house. As we blow this up, you see it shows existing driveway. They have it kind of cross-hatched to show where the drawing is. Again, they have a property line that is dashed. It's a dash and a short dash, long dash. That's indicating the property line around the property. This house is actually on a corner, so you see that the corner, the property line follows the street, follows the curve. It's handy. They show us where the front yard, this is probably a setback line, 50-foot front setback line to this, that the house must sit behind. Again, when we're laying out, if this was a new house, that would be important to make sure that we're not pushing the house too far out of bounds for what that neighborhood or city requires. This drawing shows where the AC units sit, which is handy, where the gas meter is going to be. Again, they have trees shown, a little differently shown than that other drawing we saw, but all these circles are different indications for different size trees and different trees that are on this property. This site plan actually also incorporates a roof plan. It's not uncommon that the architect will show the roof plan on the site plan, since they're both kind of a bird's eye view of the property. So we catch that on this drawing as well. They're indicating that there's a pool that remains. They show where the pool equipment sits. Again, more driveway shown, side setbacks. And in this case, you see where they noted existing house and existing drive. You know, they have some little key symbols to show different areas on the plan. Again, they list here a legal description of the property so that there's never any question about where the property is. And again, if we look at this page, just out of curiosity, we should find what the scale of the drawing is. I don't see that it's noted quickly, but I'm sure it's here somewhere. If you're going to measure it, you better make sure you find the right scale so you know how to scale it and be sure that whatever you're measuring is a correct measurement. You typically, and most architects will tell you this, you do not want to scale their drawings. If there's a question about a dimension, that probably needs to be asked of the architect rather than relied upon trying to get out our ruler and measure it on a set of drawings. Let's look at another page here. Okay, this is a project on a large piece of land. So this set of drawings starts off with actually a cover page that just has the name of the client. I've blacked that out. And their contact information. As you move forward, it gets progressively closer and closer. So here is this page that has, again, they list some general notes about their drawings. You always want to read through those. There may be something in there that's good to know. I mean, hopefully it's all good to know, but something in there may answer questions you may have. He has a symbol, a list of symbols that may relate to different things in the drawings, may help you guide through it. He has, again, a legal description and an address, as well as square foot calculations, similar to some of those other drawings. And he has over here to the right side, a drawing index, which again is handy to have to be able to reference different pages in the drawing and find them quickly. This site plan, I won't quite really call this a site plan, but this starts off with a general map view so that you could find the property. And then as you get into each page, it gets closer and closer. So here's a site plan. This project is actually sitting on a large piece of land, a few hundred acres. So this is just really a partial site plan of where the house, where the project is. So this is showing a road, driveway coming in, and then all these are trees marked all over the property. You can see there's a large grove of trees. Where my little hand is an existing house, an existing barn, and then the project we were building here was a new house with a large pool, patio area. An important thing here on this site plan, for example, this says this is the scale that 1 inch equals 40 feet. So this is drawn to more of an engineering scale rather than an architectural scale. Again, if you're measuring it, you can either measure it with a ruler, or if you have an architectural scale or an engineering scale, or if you're on the computer, you know how to set your scale. And it also gives you an orientation. So north, in this case, is up. So you kind of always know how you're facing on the drawings as you're looking at it. Let's skip a couple of pages. So again, another site plan that gets a little closer in view. If we look at this scale is 1 foot equals 20 feet. So the scale changed. So it's something you need to be aware of so that, again, as you're scaling things or measuring, you know what the scale is. Again, this shows the existing house, barn and garage. It shows where the power pole is. It shows the new driveway, an old driveway, and then it shows our new structure up here. And it shows us center lines, which helps us how to lay it out. This one actually gave us some reference points off of the existing old house so that we knew how to site this house, how to set it on the property, and be sure that it was where the owner and architect wanted it to be. This site plan, like many others, shows fences. See here where we have an existing fence. These are fences. That's kind of a typical indication of a fence. This line with an X, line with an X. It's not always how it's shown, but that's how they showed it here. But again, as I said, most architects are showing their site plan a little differently. You know, they all have their way of doing it. And then this is the last site plan on that one. See, now we're even a little closer. Our scale here is 1/8 of an inch equals a foot. So we're kind of zooming in, if you will, between these couple of different pages on this project. Where we got closer and closer. And as you get closer and closer, you see more and more detail. So here, as we get close, we start seeing where he's saying there's limestone on concrete pad, paving on sand. It starts showing us more details. The depth of the pool, it's 6 foot here in the middle. It's 8 foot on that side. It's 4 foot on that side. Limestone paving or flagstone, perimeter wall. I mean, it starts to really paint the picture of what you're looking at from above. Irrigated planting bed, masonry wall with limestone cap. So as you follow this and you're getting closer and closer, you get painting more of a picture of what the drawings look like. In this case, on this site plan, they've actually also showed the general floor plan of the house. There is a more detailed floor plan as we go further into these drawings, but sometimes on the site plan you will see a version of the floor plan, so that just for reference, so you know what's going on in the house, where different rooms are in relation to different areas on the plan. Hope this is helpful, seeing a few different site plans. Again, like I said, different architects do this differently. And as you study it, you'll start to understand exactly what they're trying to show and how they show it. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Always happy to answer any questions. If this is helpful, please like, subscribe if you would like as well. See future videos. We're going to do some more videos in the future about looking closer at floor plans and electrical plans and other parts of the documents of a typical residential construction project. Thanks so much for your time. Talk to you soon. See you soon.